Alright, what's good everyone? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the phone 3A and the phone 3A Pro as somebody who owns the 2A and has owned the phone 2 and the phone 1. So let's get into it. Nothing just announced the phone 3A series, and honestly, I think I like the phone 3A Pro design more than the regular 3A. I feel like three cameras just going straight across. It doesn't really look that good, to be honest. It looks like it's like this design but stretched out. Whereas the 3A Pro, it looks nice, I feel like. And, a lot of people are not going to like it because of the asymmetry and things like that. But I feel like nothing pretty much mastered asymmetry at this point. Like, look, this is not symmetrical at all, but people love this design. And even this design, people hated it at first. They were saying Angry Birds, whatever. Just design-wise, I think the 3A series is good. And I like the 3A Pro. But in terms of, like, the specs and what you get for the price, like, this year, it's a bit confusing where they're going with the phone. And I know Nothing is a company that gets the most out of their devices with the specs that they choose. Like the 2A definitely was a smooth device, fast, no problems with it running, no problems with performance really. In some games like Wild Rift, if you play at 120 FPS, you're going to experience stuttering and stuff like that. But you can definitely play most games on this phone with no problem. And even the Nothing Phone 2, it had the 8 Plus Gen 1 chip. And I mean, even now, it's still really good. Like the Nothing Phone 2 will run buttery smooth and play most games decently. So Nothing, they make the most of the specs that they choose. But the performance gains of the phone 3A versus the phone 2A, it's not really much of a difference. Like if we look at some specs, I got this screenshot from the Silly Corns YouTube channel. You can go check them out. The benchmarks compared to the benchmarks of the phone 3A versus the phone 2A, it's not a huge difference at all really in multi-core. And then you have the Antutu score, and like it's really not a huge difference. This is phone 3A, phone 2A. So the gains in terms of performance, it's not that much. And then compared to like competitors in the same price range, it's really, really behind. Honestly, it's almost like Google is to the other Snapdragon, flagships out there. And like Nothing software is really good. Don't get me wrong, it's a clean software. They have a lot of cool features like the widgets. I love the widgets. Being able to have quick toggles on your home screen and also on your lock screen. Very cool software features. Customize the lock screen, and then you can go and add, really good widgets. You can even expand the area. So that is cool. I love what Nothing is doing with the software, but it's kind of sad to see the specs for the price. And the one thing that makes me sad too is that it's not going to be available in Canada. That's pretty whack, to be honest. But if we look at the price, $379 USD to Canadian, that's about $550 Canadian for the phone 3A, just the regular phone 3A. For the Pro model, it's going to be, that's around $665 Canadian dollars. For $600, you can probably find, you can even find a phone too, maybe if you search around on Facebook Market and stuff like that for around $500 to $600. I've seen the 512 gig version of the phone too for around $600. So you're paying the price of that for this newer Pro/budget phone. Phone 2As are really cheap now, like $300. You can get a 2A Plus for around like $400 if you look. Honestly, the new phone with the price of it, it doesn't look as worth it as you would think. Like, I really do like the designs. I like that they have 3 cameras. I like the upgraded selfie and all that stuff. But man, it's a hard sell, I'm not gonna lie. And then they have a new button, the Essential button. I really hope you can customize that button because, for somebody who probably won't use recording stuff quickly for memory purposes or taking a quick screenshot, things like that, this new AI button, hopefully you can reprogram it to do something else, like open a camera or open a different app. Because yeah, I don't know how many people are actually going to use that. It does seem like a pretty useful feature if you're going to do AI stuff. That definitely seems like something that is very applicable to most people's lives. So, it's cool. And then some other things that is disappointing, like it doesn't have wireless charging. It doesn't have a newer SSD. It's really behind with the times for a phone that is increasing in price. And even other phones in the price range have, better specs. So I know Nothing doesn't go for specs. They're not like, let me cram everything into this phone. It's more of like a form into function type of design philosophy, but it is a bit disappointing. And now I see some camera tests with the phone 2A versus the 3A Pro. And to be honest, like with the main cameras, there's not a huge difference. Like the phone 2A still holds up really well against them. And yeah, obviously you're gonna have a better zoom camera because the phone 2A does not have a zoom camera at all. Neither does the phone 2. The phone 2 still has the best camera out of all of them. Still has the best performance. It still has, you know, the best specs overall out of all the Nothing phones. Has wireless charging, better screen. The 3A series can definitely get brighter with 3000 nits, but it's just looking like a hard sell right now. So yeah, and as somebody who uses Nothing phones, I've been using the 2A for the past year. I've had the Nothing Phone 2 multiple times. I've owned the Nothing Phone 1 and used that for about like a year. Somebody who has Nothing phones, I feel like these new designs are cool, but the specs are kind of disappointing. The lack of wireless charging is disappointing, especially when Nothing Phone 1 had that. And it was around this price range. And just the slow increase of the performance, because I feel like that's the only thing that really holds Nothing phones back. I do like that they're offering 6 years of security support, security updates. That's really good. 3 years of software support. I feel like that is good because personally, I don't care about the next version of Android that much. Like, people always say, Android 15, when's it coming? Whatever, Android 16. You know, I don't really care about the next version of Android. What I care about is my phone being secure. So security updates for 6 years is good. You can keep the phone 3A for a long time and just be all right. So that is nice. But yeah, I was hoping for a little bit more. Hopefully the phone 3 actually delivers and gives us. Honestly, I want a Nothing flagship. I want a Nothing flagship phone that can compete with the rest of the brands. I know the price is going to increase when it's like that, but give me a proper flagship phone from Nothing with proper flagship cameras, wireless charging, you know, maybe even faster charging speeds, and just like maybe even a more intricate glyph design or something like that. Like, I want a proper Nothing flagship. And, you know, for the budget phones, at least give them, you know, just a little bit more for the price. I do think the 3A and the 3A Pro are still good phones though, and they're still decent for the price range, but like, I don't know, man, it's kind of hard to sell when you're somebody who buys phones secondhand. Like Facebook, and especially in Canada, you're gonna have to buy these phones secondhand or from a, you know, a third-party seller. So if that's the case, you have so many different options when it comes to buying a phone for $550 or 600 something dollars. You can get, you know, you can even get like if you look hard enough, you can get like a iPhone 15. You can get 14 Pro. You know, just there's a lot of different options for really good phones in that price range. You can get previous Samsung flagships pretty easily, actually, like the S23 Ultra, the S24s. You can find those phones for around that price range. So the Nothing Phone 3A is kind of a hard sell at that price, especially in Canada, maybe even other parts, especially India. India has a lot of different options in terms of phones for all price ranges. So it is an interesting choice. I think Nothing is trying to put out these products on the strength of their brand identity and people knowing who they are, and on brand loyalty and stuff like that. People really love what the brand is doing in terms of the community that they're building and how they interact with their users and stuff like that. The YouTube videos they've been putting out. So they're putting out these phones that are designed first and then function, form and then function. They're putting them out hoping that, you know, what they have created and built will be enough to propel these devices into the mainstream or, you know, into the mass markets. Good devices, but a little bit overpriced for what you're getting. And it's not a huge upgrade over the phone 2A. I think the phone 2A is still a good deal. I think the phone 2 is looking like an amazing deal right now, even though it doesn't have that many software support years left. I still think the regular phone 2 flagship model is a good deal. Hopefully phone 3 comes to Canada though, like officially. But yeah, that's all for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below on the new Nothing phones, and, you know, are they worth it to you? Do you think they're good? Do you hate the design? Do you love the design? Let me know in the comments below. Till next video, we're out. Peace.